One of the client engagements I had that was a real deep dive into the inner workings of brand loyalty and making an emotional connection and winning hearts and minds was an account that I did with World Vision. World Vision is a humanitarian organization, and they're headquartered in Washington State. And I had the lucky privilege of working with a team for the better part of a year, perhaps it was a year and a half, with some of their digital programs. And this was such a galvanizing experience, and this was so interesting because they were really what I felt was kind of the true embodiment of what it means to win hearts and minds of your customer. They have such a deeply, deeply loyal following. And it was such a profound learning to get to engage with digital when you have this type of a reaction and this type of a scenario. So my role was working on a digital experience that they had for sponsorship. You could sponsor a child, and there was an online experience that really helped guide the user through building a platform for the relationship with their child. I talk about how digital is the platform for a relationship, and I partially mean it metaphorically a little bit. Now, this was a literal platform for a relationship. So through the tool, you were able to send letters, you were able to see photos of the child that you were sponsoring, you were able to learn about the issues in his or her country. It was a really interesting, deep engagement scenario with users. It really was trying to create an immersive, experiential online platform to connect the children and the sponsors. So I was involved in their digital experience for that. And then I also was involved in their email campaigns. And so these campaigns were to help drive support for the different initiatives that they were working on. We all are going for the same goal, to get our customers to say yes. But most importantly, we have to do that by winning hearts and minds. And in order to win hearts and minds, we have to earn trust, we have to earn loyalty, and we have to earn that attention and that willingness to maintain this connection with the customer. I, at a very fundamental level, feel that all marketing is an anthropological conversation. And what I mean by that is we need to be thinking about human behavior, we need to be thinking about culture. We need to really understand everything from a user-centric perspective. We need to know psychology inside and out. We need to consider the environment in which an individual is making decisions. And with all of that, that's how we start to connect this idea of the ultimate goal, which is to get our customer to say yes, across the, compare that, overlay that with the other dimension of the customer journey. And then how do we use digital and the brand experience to build that bridge and to move them across the customer journey into a place where they are saying yes and they are building a loyal and trusting connection with your brand. There were some really interesting learnings that I got from this that really shaped how I start to think about digital today. In this particular scenario, it was 100% an emotional connection. So they do some really incredible work all around the globe. And the very nature of it is for one human being to support another. And it was really fun to get to see how that played out in a digital experience. The other thing that was really particularly interesting about this role and how it shaped this approach that I do now is that it was such a loyal following. I mean, they really had won hearts and minds. They had a very devout following of supporters. And so, for example, when we would send out an email opportunity to support an initiative, from an industry perspective, really impressive results. Really impressive results, like a profoundly higher than average open rate, and a very, very impressive conversion rate, if you will, if you want to call it that. And so it was a lot of fun to get to work on some of these programs, not only that were so telling and so teaching from a digital perspective, but also that we're genuinely helping people around the world. So I really enjoyed that. What I really loved in this particular scenario was there was such a distinct feedback loop built into these approaches. So I really think about everything from a human behavior perspective. It was really powerful to, for there to be a crisis in the world, for the ask to go out, people to support, and then to be able to show, like, look at how many we were able to help, look at, and to really provide more of a feedback loop when it came to support. Additionally speaking, on the website where it was really geared toward building that relationship, there was a feedback loop as well. Like, there were ways to foster the human connection that just really bolstered the approach and the environment.